Hello and welcome to TaleTalk English. Today's story is emotional, suspenseful, and full of mystery, friendship, courage, and kindness. It will also help you improve your English listening and vocabulary through simple conversations and real-life emotions. As you listen, try to imagine every scene, every expression, and every feeling. This is the story of a young woman who risked everything to help her best friend. Before we begin, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new English story. My name is Patricia. I am 23 years old and I live in a quiet little city called Maple Grove. It is a peaceful place with colorful houses, friendly neighbors, and beautiful parks. Most people know each other and life usually moves slowly here. I live with my father, Terry, and my younger sister, Evelyn, who is 16 years old. My mother passed away when Evelyn was only 5, so my father has worked very hard to take care of us. He has always been both a father and a mother to our family. Because of him, our home is always full of love, even when life becomes difficult. I work at a small coffee shop in the center of town. The cafe is called Morning Bean. It is not a fancy place, but people love it because the coffee is fresh, the music is soft, and everyone feels welcome. I enjoy my job very much. Every morning I prepare cappuccinos, lattes, and hot chocolate for customers. Some people stop by before work, while others come to read books or meet friends. I like talking to them and hearing little stories about their lives. Every day feels a little different. My best friend is Ava. We have known each other since elementary school. We grew up together, celebrated birthdays together, and shared every important moment in our lives. She was more like a sister than a friend. Ava worked in a clothing store near the train station. We usually met every Friday evening after work for dinner or coffee. She was cheerful, funny, and always smiling. That was why the message she sent me one rainy morning frightened me so much. It was the middle of October. Cold wind pushed against my bedroom window, and heavy rain tapped loudly on the glass. I woke up earlier than usual because I had the morning shift at the cafe. Still half asleep, I reached for my phone. There was only one new message. It was from Ava. "Patricia, please come to the train station today. I really need you. 11 o'clock, platform 5. That was all. No explanation, no smiley face, no "please call me," nothing. I frowned as I read it again. It didn't sound like Ava at all. Normally, she filled her messages with jokes or long explanations. I quickly pressed the call button. The phone rang once, then it went straight to voicemail. I tried again. The same thing happened. I felt a strange feeling growing inside my chest. I looked at the clock beside my bed. It was already 9 o'clock. Only 2 hours remained before 11. I hurried out of bed and opened my closet. After thinking for only a few seconds, I chose my favorite blue sweater, dark jeans, and black boots. Since it was raining heavily, I grabbed my long gray raincoat and my small umbrella before running downstairs. The warm smell of toast filled the kitchen. Dad was standing by the stove making eggs. Evelyn sat at the table still wearing her pajamas while scrolling through her phone. "Good morning," Dad said with a smile. Normally, I would smile back. Today, I couldn't. "Dad," I said, "I have to go to the train station." He looked up immediately. "So early?" he said. "Ava sent me a strange message. She says she needs my help," I replied. His smile disappeared. "What happened?" he asked. "I don't know," I replied. "Did you call her?" he asked. "Yes, her phone is off," I replied. Dad stayed quiet for a few seconds. Then he walked over and placed his hand gently on my shoulder. "I don't know what's going on," he said softly, "but promise me you'll be careful." "I promise," I said. "If anything feels wrong, call me immediately," he said. "I will," I replied. Evelyn looked up from her phone. Is Ava okay? She asked. I hope so, I replied. She gave me a worried look. Text me when you find her, she said. I will, I replied. Even though I wasn't hungry, Dad insisted I eat something first. You can't solve problems with an empty stomach, he always said. I managed to eat one piece of toast before putting on my raincoat. Dad handed me a travel cup filled with hot coffee. For the road, he said. I smiled. Thanks, I said. Outside, the cold air hit my face immediately. Rain poured from the gray sky. The streets looked shiny under the streetlights. People hurried past with umbrellas, trying not to get wet. I walked quickly toward the bus stop. The bus arrived only a few minutes later. It was already crowded. People wearing business suits, students carrying backpacks, and parents holding children's hands filled almost every seat. I found a small place near the back door. The windows were covered with fog. I wiped away a small circle with my hand and looked outside. The city slowly passed by. Coffee shops, bookstores, flower stands, traffic lights, everything looked peaceful. But inside me, nothing felt peaceful. Questions filled my mind. Why did Ava sound so frightened? Why wouldn't she answer her phone? Has something terrible happened? After nearly 35 minutes, the bus finally stopped outside Maple Grove Central Station. I stepped onto the wet sidewalk. The station was much busier than usual. People rushed in every direction. Some pulled heavy suitcases. Others hugged family members goodbye. Announcements echoed through the large building. Trains arrive every few minutes. I looked up at the signs. Platform 1, Platform 2, Platform 4. It took almost 10 minutes before I finally found Platform 5 hidden near the far end of the station. I looked around carefully. No Ava. Maybe she was running late? I checked the time. 10:50. I decided to wait. 10 minutes passed. Still nothing. Then 15. Then 20. Every few minutes I tried calling again. Nothing. The uncomfortable feeling inside me grew stronger. I walked slowly up and down the platform, hoping to see her familiar face. Instead, I noticed someone else. A small boy sat alone on a wooden bench. He couldn't have been older than 10 years old. He held a small blue backpack tightly against his chest. His head was lowered. His shoulders shook slightly. Was he crying? People walked past him without stopping. No one seemed to notice him. I hesitated for a moment. Maybe his parents were nearby. But after watching him for another minute, I realized no one came. Something inside me told me I couldn't simply walk away. I slowly approached him. "Hi," I said gently. He looked up. His eyes were red and tears covered his cheeks. "Are you okay?" For a second, he didn't answer. Then he quietly shook his head. "No." "My name is Patricia," I said, sitting beside him. "What's your name?" He wiped his eyes with his sleeve. "Larry." "It's nice to meet you, Larry." He tried to smile, but it disappeared almost immediately. "I lost my train ticket," he whispered. "I don't know how to get home." I felt my heart ache. "Where's your family?" I asked. "I was visiting my grandmother," he said. "I had my ticket, but now it's gone." "Were you alone?" I asked. He nodded slowly. "My mom trusted me because I've made this trip before." "And now?" I asked. "I'm scared she'll be angry," he replied. I smiled gently. "I don't think she'll be angry." He looked at me with uncertain eyes. "Really?" "I think she'll just be happy you're safe," I said. He stayed silent. I opened my bag. Luckily, I still had a small chocolate bar from work. I handed it to him. "This always makes difficult days a little better," I said. For the first time, a tiny smile appeared on his face. "Thank you," he replied. "You don't have to face this alone," I told him. "We'll figure something out together." Just as he began opening the chocolate, my phone suddenly rang. The screen showed one name, Ava. My heart jumped. I answered immediately. "Ava, where are you?" Her voice came through the speaker, shaking with fear. "Patricia, where are you?" "I'm at platform 5 waiting for you," I replied. There was complete silence. Then she gasped. "Oh no, my message. I made a mistake. I'm at platform 3. I stood up so quickly that my umbrella almost fell onto the tracks. "What happened?" "Please," she whispered, "come quickly. I think someone is following me." I froze. For a second, I couldn't speak. The busy train station suddenly felt much quieter, even though hundreds of people were walking around me. "Ava," I said softly, "don't move. I'm coming right now." "Hurry, please." The call ended. I looked at Larry. The little boy was watching me with worried eyes. "Is everything okay?" he asked. I forced a small smile. "My friend needs my help." He nodded slowly. "I'll be right here." I looked around the platform. A middle-aged couple was sitting only a few meters away. I walked over to them. "Excuse me," I said politely. "Would you mind keeping an eye on this little boy for just a few minutes? His name is Larry. He lost his train ticket, and I need to help my friend." The woman smiled kindly. "Of course," she said. "We'll stay with him," her husband added. I thanked them before running toward the station entrance. My boots splashed through small puddles on the floor where people had tracked rainwater inside. Announcements echoed through the building. "Train 214 to Riverdale is now arriving on platform 7. People hurried past me from every direction. Some almost bumped into me. I ran down one hallway, turned left, and followed the signs pointing toward platform 3. My heart was beating faster with every step. What if Ava was right? What if someone really was following her? After what felt like forever, I reached platform 3. I looked around quickly. Then I saw her. She was sitting on the floor beside a ticket machine. Her arms were wrapped around her knees. Her face was pale. Her eyes were full of fear. "Ava!" I yelled. She looked up immediately. When she saw me, she stood and ran toward me. She hugged me so tightly that I could hardly breathe. "I'm so glad you're here," she whispered. "It's okay," I said gently. "I'm here now." She slowly stepped back. Her hands were shaking. "I didn't know who else to call." "You did the right thing," I said. I looked carefully at her face. She looked exhausted. Her eyes were red, as if she had been crying. "What happened?" I asked. She took a deep breath. "I got on the bus this morning." I nodded. "There was a man sitting near the back." "So?" I asked. "He kept staring at me." "Maybe it was an accident," I said. "I thought so too," she replied. She swallowed nervously. "But when I got off the bus, he got off too." I listened carefully. I walked toward the station. He followed. I stopped. He stopped. I walked faster. So did he. A cold feeling ran through my body. "Are you sure?" I asked. She nodded. "I've never been more sure of anything." "What happened next?" I asked. "I came inside the station because I thought there would be lots of people." She looked around carefully before continuing. "But every time I turned around, he was still there." My stomach tightened. "Did he say anything to you?" I asked. "No." "Did he touch you?" "No, he just kept watching me," she said. I gently held her hand. "We're together now. Nothing is going to happen," I said. She tried to smile. Then her face suddenly changed. Her eyes became wide. She grabbed my arm. "Patricia!" "What?" I asked. "Don't turn around too quickly," she said. "Why?" I asked. "I think he's here," she replied. Slowly, I looked over my shoulder. Near the station cafe stood a tall man. He wore a dark green jacket, a black beanie covered most of his hair. He held a paper coffee cup in one hand while looking down at his phone. At first, he looked completely ordinary. Then, he slowly lifted his head. Our eyes met. For one long second, neither of us moved. His expression didn't change. Then he calmly looked back at his phone. Ava whispered, "That's him." "You recognize him?" I asked. "I'll never forget his face," she said. I watched him carefully. He wasn't doing anything strange now. He simply stood there. But something about him felt wrong. Maybe it was the way he kept looking around without moving. Maybe it was the way he seemed to notice everyone around him. "I'll go talk to him," I said. Ava grabbed my sleeve. "No, please don't. If he's dangerous, we'll never know unless we ask," I said. She looked frightened. "What if he hurts you?" she asked. "He won't. There are too many people here," I replied. I slowly walked toward the cafe. The man looked up again. This time he saw me coming. For a brief moment, surprise crossed his face. Then he turned. Without saying a word, he began walking away. Not running, walking, calmly, almost as if he had expected this. "Hey!" I called. "Excuse me!" He didn't answer. He disappeared into the moving crowd. I walked faster. People crossed in front of me. A family with large suitcases blocked my path. When I finally reached the corner, the man was gone. I looked left. Nothing. Right. Nothing. He had disappeared. I returned to Ava. "He left?" she asked. "I lost him," I said. She looked even more worried now. "I told you," she said. "I believe you. We need to tell security," I said. Together, we walked to the information desk. A friendly woman wearing a blue station uniform looked up. "Can I help you?" she asked. I explained everything. She listened without interrupting. When I finished, she picked up a phone. "Security to the information desk, please." Only a minute later, a security officer arrived. He was a tall man with gray hair and calm eyes. "My name is Officer Harris," he said. "What seems to be the problem?" Ava explained the story again. Officer Harris asked several questions. "What time did you first notice him? Did he speak to you? Did he touch you? Can you describe him?" She answered each one carefully. Finally, he nodded. "We'll check the security cameras. If he is following people inside the station, we'll find him." "Should we stay here?" I asked. "For a few minutes," he said. He spoke into his radio. 2 more officers appeared and quietly began walking through the station. Seeing them made Ava relax a little. She took a long breath. "Thank you," she said. Officer Harris smiled. "You did exactly the right thing. If someone makes you feel unsafe, always report it." A few minutes later, he returned. "We've located the man on camera." My heart skipped. "What happened?" I asked. "He left the station through the east entrance about 5 minutes ago," he replied. "So he's gone?" I asked. "For now, we'll continue reviewing the footage. If necessary, we'll contact the police." Ava looked relieved. "So I'm safe?" she asked. "Yes, but if you ever see him again, call us immediately." "We will," I said. After Officer Harris left, Ava finally smiled. It was small, but it was real. She squeezed my hand. "I don't know what I would have done without you." I laughed softly. "Next time, double-check the platform number before sending a message." She covered her face. "I know, I'm so embarrassed. I had you running across the whole station." "I even made a new friend while waiting," I said. "A new friend?" she asked. "A little boy named Larry. I completely forgot." Ava looked confused. "Who's Larry?" she asked. "He lost his train ticket. I promised I'd help him," I answered. "Oh no," she replied. "We've got to go back," I told her. Without wasting another second, we hurried toward Platform 5. As we walked through the station, I couldn't stop thinking about the man in the green jacket. Officer Harris said he had left, but something deep inside me whispered, "This story isn't over yet." Ava and I walked as quickly as we could back to Platform 5. The station was still crowded with travelers rushing to catch their trains. Announcements echoed from the loudspeakers, and the sound of rolling suitcases filled the air. "I hope Larry is still there," I said. "He will be," Ava replied. "You said that nice couple stayed with him." "I know, but he's only 10 years old. He must be scared," I said. When we finally reached Platform 5, I looked toward the wooden bench. Relief filled my heart. Larry was still there. The older couple was sitting beside him, talking to him kindly. He looked much calmer than before. As soon as he saw me, he stood up. "You came back," he said with a bright smile. "I told you I would," I answered. He looked at Ava. "Is this your friend?" "Yes," I said. "This is Ava." Ava smiled warmly. "It's nice to meet you, Larry." The older woman stood up. "We're glad you're back," she said. "He's been very brave." "Thank you so much for staying with him," I said. "It was no trouble at all," her husband replied. After they left to catch their train, I turned my attention back to Larry. "Now," I said gently, "let's figure out how to get you home." We walked together to the station's ticket office. A friendly woman behind the counter listened carefully while I explained everything. "So you lost your ticket?" she asked Larry. "Yes," he replied. "And you know your mother's phone number?" she asked. "Yes," Larry replied. "That's wonderful," she said. She handed him a phone. With shaking hands, Larry carefully dialed the number. After only 2 rings, someone answered. "Mom?" His voice became quiet. "I'm sorry, I lost my ticket." There was a short silence. Then I heard a woman's worried voice through the phone. "Larry, are you okay?" "Yes, I'm safe. A kind lady is helping me," he answered. The ticket clerk spoke with Larry's mother for a minute before hanging up. "Your mother is on her way," she said. "It will take about 20 minutes." Larry let out a long breath. I thought she would be angry. The ticket clerk smiled. "I think she's only worried." We sat together in the waiting area. To help Larry relax, Ava started asking him questions about school. "What subjects do you like?" "Science," he answered immediately. "I want to become an engineer someday." "Really?" Ava smiled. "That's wonderful. What kind of things do you want to build?" He thought for a moment. "Maybe trains." We all laughed. "That makes sense," I said. "You already spend so much time at train stations." For the first time since we met him, he laughed loudly. Hearing that laugh made me feel happy. Sometimes a smile is the best medicine. About 20 minutes later, a woman rushed through the station entrance. She looked around anxiously until she saw Larry. "Larry!" she yelled. He stood up. "Mom!" She ran across the room and hugged him tightly. Tears rolled down her cheeks. "I was so worried." "I'm sorry. I lost my ticket," he sheepishly whispered. She kissed the top of his head. "I don't care about the ticket. I'm just happy you're safe." After a long hug, she turned toward Ava and me. "Are you the young women who helped my son?" "Yes," I answered. She took both of my hands. "I don't know how to thank you. You didn't have to stay with him, but you did." Ava smiled. "Anyone would have helped." The woman slowly shook her head. "I wish that were true." She looked down at Larry. "Thank you for reminding him that there are still kind people in this world." Those words stayed in my heart. After saying goodbye, Larry waved excitedly before leaving with his mother. "I'll never forget you." "We won't forget you either," Ava called back. As they disappeared through the station doors, I felt peaceful. The day had started with fear, but at least one problem had a happy ending. Outside, the rain had become lighter. Small drops still fell from the gray sky, but the heavy storm had almost ended. Ava and I shared my umbrella as we walked toward a small cafe across the street. The warm smell of fresh bread welcomed us inside. We found a quiet table near the window. The waiter brought us 2 cups of hot tea. For several minutes, neither of us spoke. Finally, Ava looked at me. "I haven't told you everything." I looked up. "What do you mean?" I asked. She wrapped both hands around her cup. "I think I know why someone might be following me." My heart became heavy again. "Who?" She took a deep breath. "My ex-boyfriend." I remembered him immediately. His name was Ryan. At first, everyone thought he was charming. He always smiled, he bought flowers, he said sweet things. But after several months, he changed. He became jealous. He wanted to know where Ava was every hour of every day. If she didn't answer her phone quickly, he became angry. If she spent time with friends, he complained. I had never trusted him. "When did you break up?" I asked. "About 3 weeks ago," she answered. "How did he react?" "He begged me to stay," she said. "And then?" I asked. "When I refused, he became someone I didn't recognize," she replied. She looked down. "He started sending dozens of messages every day." "What kind of messages?" I asked. "Some asked me to come back, others blamed me," she answered. "Were there threats?" I asked. She hesitated. "A few." I felt my hands tighten around my cup. "Why didn't you tell me?" I asked. "I thought I could handle it," she replied. "You shouldn't have handled it alone," I said. "I know," she replied. She looked at me with tired eyes. "I'm sorry." I reached across the table and held her hand. "You never have to face things alone, not while I'm here." She smiled weakly. "I know." We finished our tea slowly. Before leaving, I looked outside. The streets were wet, but the rain had finally stopped. Clouds were beginning to move away. A little sunlight appeared between them. It almost felt like the day was trying to tell us everything would be okay. We decided to take a taxi home instead of the bus. Both of us were exhausted. As the taxi drove through Maple Grove, I watched raindrops slide down the window. The city looked calm again. People were walking their dogs, children laughed in a nearby park, shops were reopening after the storm. Life continued as if nothing unusual had happened. Ava rested her head against the window. "I'll report Ryan if he contacts me again," she said. "I think that's the right decision. No more hiding, no more hoping he'll change." I nodded. "You deserve to feel safe." When we reached Ava's apartment, she hugged me again. "Thank you. You saved me today." I smiled. "We saved each other." She laughed softly. "I'll call you tonight," she said. "I'll be waiting," I replied. The taxi then drove me home. As soon as I opened the front door, Evelyn ran toward me. "Patricia!" She hugged me tightly. Dad walked out from the kitchen. His face showed relief. "I've been worried all day." "I'm okay," I said. "I promise." We sat together in the living room while I told him everything. The strange message, the wrong platform, meeting Larry, the man in the green jacket, the security officers, helping Larry find his mother. Dad listened without interrupting. When I finished, he smiled proudly. "You made good decisions today." "I wasn't sure what to do," I said. "You followed your heart. That's usually the right place to start," he replied. Evelyn smiled. "I want to be brave like you someday." I laughed. "I wasn't brave. I was scared." Dad nodded. "Real courage doesn't mean you're never afraid. It means you choose to do the right thing even when you are." His words stayed with me. That night, I lay awake for a long time. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw the man in the green jacket disappearing into the crowd. Who was he? Was Ava right? Or had it all been a misunderstanding? I didn't know, but one thing was certain. If danger ever came again, neither of us would face it alone. 1 week later, I was working at Morning Bean Cafe. The morning was busy. Customers filled every table. The smell of fresh coffee floated through the air. Just after noon, someone called my name, Patricia. I turned around. Standing near the door were Larry and his mother. Larry was smiling from ear to ear. In his hands was a small box tied with a blue ribbon. "We came to thank you," his mother said. She handed me the box. "I made homemade chocolate cookies." "You really didn't have to," I said. "We wanted to," she replied. Larry grinned. "I told everyone at school about you." I laughed. "I hope only the good parts." "The best parts," he promised. After they left, I opened the box during my break. The cookies smelled wonderful. Inside the lid was a handwritten note. "Thank you for showing my son that kindness still exists. We will never forget your help." I smiled. That day taught me something I will always remember. Life can surprise us with fear when we least expect it, but it can also surprise us with kindness. Sometimes one small act of caring can completely change someone's day. Sometimes helping a stranger becomes the most important moment of your own life. And sometimes, even on the darkest, rainiest morning, a kind heart becomes the brightest light of all. Thank you for watching till the end, and don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new English story.